So we start out our morning, April 19, 50 degrees, man. What the hell? 50 degrees. I'm chilly. I feel like Hercules. Go ahead, buddy. But man, 50. And then it's gonna be hot later. It's like, we gotta get to the point where it's like 70. And then when it's, man, that yard looks good. When it's 70, oops, sorry about the wipers there. I think, was that Yorma? When it starts out in the 70s and then it gets up to the 90s, you know, that's when I'll be in shorts. Oh yes. Oh yes. The only thing about shorts, man, is it beats the shit out of your legs when you're weed eating. Man, it'll whip the heck out of you. But what are you gonna do? So I gotta do 1, 2, 3 Friday, and he asked me to mow this over. They're out of town, so he wants me to just hit it with the mower. The guy across the street there. So I told him, yeah, just throw me a 20 and I'll run it over. So I'll mow it down. And I just noticed a note folded up on their door. So they're getting a violation from the HOA for not having their property maintained properly. And you know, that's where I can kind of agree. I mean, we pay a lot of money to live here. We got the community pool. You know, we want this to stay a nice neighborhood, and we don't want grass growing up to the doorknobs. And that guy's grass is almost up to his doorknobs in some places. And you know, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see cars up on cinder blocks and, you know, rust buckets and crap sitting out in the street, parked all over the grass. You know, it's kind of nice to have it where things look good. The neighborhood looks nice. So there's pluses and minuses to HOAs. You know, there's other things too, like, you know, well, what's wrong with the boat? Why can't you have a boat in the driveway? And then you turn around and you say, well, what's wrong with a car that I'm working on? Why can't I have a car in the driveway that I'm working on that's up on cinder blocks? So it kind of goes hand in hand. You got to take the good with the bad. I just look at it like this. I don't need an HOA to tell me to live and look clean and professional and you know, respectful, and not have trash blowing all over my yard and into the neighbors' yards. You know, I don't need someone to tell me that. Some people do. And so I just look at it like this. It makes me business. HOAs make me money because they make people do things they otherwise maybe would not do, like house washes, you know, like regularly cutting their yard. Some people just might not want to cut their yard, maybe once a month in the summer, and who cares? Screw it all. And barely get through it. And then, you know, the HOA comes along and says, no, you guys are going to have to do that a little bit more often. And, you know, maybe they hire somebody like you or me. So, yeah, you got to kind of take the good with the bad. Just kind of roll with it. So that's it. So yesterday turned out to be a really big day, didn't it? I mean, just under $500. And we finished at 5 o'clock. So I'm actually here just dropping off an invoice. A couple of these people aren't on the fast track with email. They just say, just leave me an invoice. So I am getting that delivered. 2 of them from all 13 yesterday that we did. 2 of them are paper. And today we got 11 to do. And of that 11, all 11 are on email. And 10 of them are all in one neighborhood. And one of them is over here. It's a new one that I got off of a buddy. And I got to take care of that one today. So that's going to put us well over 400. And I would like to be done with all of my day's work by 4 o'clock. Now, if everything goes good, I might even be done with those 10 up there. I might be done with those 10 by 1:30, maybe 2. Which would be pretty awesome, because then I just have this one here. And then, you know, we'll see how things go, and I'm going to try to put some more video in. I need to get a microphone, so bear with me, guys. My computer, I don't have like a headphone microphone jack, and I bought a microphone, but it was a headphone, it was a earpiece with a mic boom, so I could talk more clear. and not talk like I'm yelling at you guys to the computer microphone. So if I don't have the port that has the two headphone, mine's gonna have to be a USB mic set. So I'm gonna have to try to find one, and Walmart don't have them, and the next nearest place is in town, and I don't go into town unless I absolutely have to. So I don't see myself getting one of them microphones real soon, but there's things that I want to talk about that I want to show you while I'm weed eating or while I'm mowing, and you know, the microphone will make it perfect where we can do that. Instead of me coming over and screaming at the camera over the sound of the machine like we've done in the past, I'd like to just, wow, I wonder what's happened here. Big time traffic. Look at this. Ay, 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 sucks to be you. Man, that's backed all the way up. Look at that. When it's backed up to here, it's backed up to hell. There must be an accident, unfortunately. That's terrible. So let me change this. Hold on a second. All right. So, oh wait, they're talking about traffic. Hang on, traffic. That's it. Okay, they didn't mention this one. So, last night I got home. Right. I told you guys I'm going to try to start doing like a after the show type deal, and I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know if I'm going to do like a live stream or something where a couple nights a week you guys can just pop in on me and see what I'm up to, because I know people are interested. I'm interested, you know. I get interested with people that I follow. I wonder what they're doing. What do they watch on TV, you know? What are they doing? What's their house like? How do they live? I hear sirens. Fire trucks? Where are they at? I see the lights in front of me. There they are. Oh wow, this must be pretty serious. This ambulance just went up against traffic and is now about to push people. Man. Something must have just recently happened. Okay. So, you know, I'm thinking about doing something where, you know, I invite you guys into my home and, you know, kind of show you guys the layout and hang out with me, and you know, I don't know if there's much interest in that. I really don't know. But I would certainly do it because I find interest in people, you know, and what they're doing. But, you know, like my thing is, I got home last night close to 5 o'clock, and I have a system. You know, there's things I got to do. I get home at 5. My dogs need to be walked. My dogs need to be fed. I need to be showered. Any checks that I receive in the mail or handed to me need to be entered into my computer. You know, crediting the customer. And I like to do that immediately. The deposits need to be made. Videos need to be transferred from my camera to my computer, and then once they're in my computer folder, then switched into my editing software, and then I need to edit, and then I need to save it, which is called rendering. But then I need to save it, and I save it in DVD quality, because if I saved it in high def quality, it would take like 5 hours for it to save at high def. And when I save it at DVD quality, then basically an hour-long video will take about 2 hours to save. So I want to try to have that done by 5:30, 6 o'clock, and starting to save. So by, you know, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I can get the video up for you guys. So it's not, you know, it's not too late. And a lot of you guys have come to rely on my video for some form of entertainment or to poke fun at. I don't know, but I get emails from people 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. No video tonight. No video tonight. It's like, oh shit. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying. I'm trying. Get the popcorn ready. It's coming. But excuse me. So like I have a system the way I do it. So what I do is I walk in the house, I immediately bring my dogs to the back, and I say, go outside. I leave the door open. I got one of those screens that magnet shut. So I leave the door open so they can come and go, because they want to pee, but they want to see me also. So I'll let them come and go. I immediately plug my camera into the computer and start transferring the files. That'll take about, because it's a lot, you know, that'll take about 10 minutes. So in that 10 minutes, I have the time to run in and take a quick shower, and that's exactly what I do. 10-15 minutes for that crap to transfer over. I run over and I take a quick shower, get myself cleaned up, put some clean clothes on so I can sit at my desk without making a mess all over the place. So then I'll get that transferred in to the computer, then I'll open up my editing software and transfer the stuff over, and then, you know, I'll put it all into my software, and that takes no time at all to do. And then I start editing my clips. Now, I'm very, very picky with my camera these days. I've learned to pause, you know, start and stop and make clips rather than just leave it running and then edit. So I pretty much know, okay, I need to go to about this point in my video, and I need to edit this part out where, you know, I don't know. I do very little editing, unless it's mowing. So the mowing, I really just look for the mowing and weed eating clips and stuff like that, so I can try to get rid of some of the dead air time, you know, where I set the camera up, press record, and then walk over to go get my, shit, is this bus? All right, he's still yellow, so I'm going. That was close. And then he kept going? What? That was weird. That bus turned his yellow lights on as if he was stopping, slowed down, and then kept going. Turned his lights off. Okay, whatever. School bus. So, I look for those clips, and I try to get the dead air out because, you know, I don't want you guys bored crapless. And then if I'm going to put music in it, I'll throw some music in it. And if not, like last night, I did some voiceover, which I want to do more voiceover because there's a lot more stuff I want to talk about my mowing and weed eating and stuff like that. That's the whole point of my vlog, is also to teach you guys a few things too about me and how I do things. Doesn't mean it's the right way, it's just how I do it. And once I have it pretty much satisfied, I save it as, you know, whatever I'm going to save the title as, and then I shut the program down. Then I reopen the program and I pull that file back up. That way everything is clean and there's no glitches, because sometimes there'll be a glitch in it from going back and forth and saving this and editing that. And one of the clips, you might lose the sound, and it'll just be a click, 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 click sound. You guys have heard that before in one of my videos. So I shut the program completely down, and then I reopen the program so everything reloads fresh and clean, and then I just start saving it as a DVD quality, and that gives me an hour and a half now. Yesterday I went and got a haircut, sat down on the ground, I fed my dogs some wet and dry food mix, which is always fun to do. I don't know if you guys have pit bulls, but they eat like crazy, man. They just devour. They're like alligators. So I fed my dogs. Now I leave them dry food during the day. They have a bowl of dry food. They each have their bowl of dry food. They never touch it. They really just eat once a day. Sometimes I'll hear them snacking on some dry food, but when I come home, I give them each a large can of some good wet food, nice chunky meat and rice and stuff, and I mix that in with some of their dry food and make just a big old giant meal for them, and they devour it. And then that's really it. From that point, I take the food bowls up for the night, and in the morning, I put dry food down for them, so they have something to snack on during the day, in case they're hungry. And of course, fresh water. So I do that, and then I'll look through my comments, and if something needs to be addressed right then and there, I address it. But for the most part, I then move into my paperwork where everybody that got serviced that day gets invoice emailed to them, and we need to talk about that. But everybody gets an invoice emailed to them, and if they had paid, they got their credit. You know, if I just got a check in the mail, or find a check in my mailbox or whatever, then I give them their credit, do all the credits first, and then I go back and I invoice. Then I look at the next 2 days' work to make sure everything's lined up right and I don't have an accident, because sometimes in the mornings it's not the time to find things messed up, and then you got to start looking for, you know, this person and that person. Like yesterday, I had that entranceway and that corner house, but the lady next door wasn't on the schedule. So, you know, I started with 11 to do. It turned out to be 12, and then it turned out to be 13 because I picked up a new account. Thanks to you guys keeping me motivated. I don't know, once I get my paperwork done and everybody's all invoiced, I'm basically done. At this point, I haven't even eaten dinner yet. It's like 8 o'clock. Well, last night I ran out and I grabbed dinner. I grabbed some rice bowls from Seasons of Japan, where they got rice and meat, and I bought 2. Hibachi steak and teriyaki chicken. So I put the teriyaki chicken in the refrigerator for tonight, and I ate the hibachi steak. And I don't think I ate enough rice, but I ate the steak. It was good. And then, so it's like 7:30 at night, I'm eating dinner. The video's just about ready to be uploaded to YouTube. It's just about done saving. My paperwork's just about done. Around 8 o'clock at night, I'm done. So between my lawn business and my YouTube, which it's almost like a part-time job, because it's like it takes about 2 hours, 2.5 hours for my YouTube to be completed. My daily YouTube video, it takes about 2.5 hours. Now, I don't sit there for 2.5 hours, but it takes about 2.5 hours before I can actually hit the go switch and put that up live to you guys. So in that 2.5 hours, I do my invoicing, I do my dog feeding, I, you know, got a haircut, take a shower. I get all that stuff knocked out while I'm taking care of my my daily vlog. So it's like I kind of want to get a video up. I wouldn't mind it. It's going to be kind of hard to do, and you also almost need like 3 videos, like 3 cameras, you know, like one in my bedroom, one in my computer room, my office area, and like one in my living room / kitchen area showing. So you could see me moving around and see the things that I do, the system that I have, and how I knock this out. Because people ask me, how do you do it? You know, a lot of people are getting curious about videos, and they're asking me questions about, you know, how I do videos, and, you know, I want to be able to answer your questions, and what a better way to answer your questions than to just show you, you know, just actually go up there and show you guys exactly what I do. But hey, we're at the first house. We're at number 1 of number 10 in this neighborhood, with 11 of the day total. This is the one we just pine strawed and I pressure washed. So let me go ahead and get this knocked out, and then when the sun gets up a little bit more, and I know we're not going to have fogging issues and stuff like that, we're going to do some more video work today. And we need to talk about invoicing. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. We got 3 done. We're about to start a 4th individual. So when I get this 4th one done, then we'll have a group of 3 and a group of 3. And what I did is, I have one that's a group of 4 where the backyard backs up to 2 other backyards. And so I did that one on its separate street. So that was the 2nd one I did. So this one is an individual one. And then, so that's going to leave 4 down. So that's going to leave 6 to go in this neighborhood. And that's going to be a group of 3, which will be 2 together, 1 across the street. And then a group of 3, which is 2 together and 1 across the street. So I'll be able to knock them out. So it's 10 o'clock now, so let's get out of here by 11. We should be done with this day by about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Just over 4 bills. And then we'll head on down toward my neighborhood, and we got one to do in there, a 2nd time cut for the year that I've done it. And end on a really high note, nice and early. So we're moving along nice and easy, guys. And some mowing vids are coming up. Alright guys, we just finished one group of 3. We got 3 more to go up here. Got a little lawn fella showed up. Got himself a nice little get up. Let me hook the man up. What's up, my friend?
Hey, thank you.
It ain't cold, but it's wet.
That's all right. All right, how you doing,
Take care, man.
All right, thank you.
And that's what I'm talking about. Let's look out for each other, right, guys? 3 more yards to do. Boom, boom, boom. And we're out of this neighborhood over 4 bills done. Let's go.
All right, guys, we're going to mow this yard, and we are going to hold the Garmin GPS device in my hand because I was asked yesterday in a comment how fast my mower goes. So I decided to give you two speeds. One is going to be my normal, comfortable mowing speed for the conditions, of course. And one's going to be its top speed, as I could read it while my hand was bouncing around so much because these are not the smoothest of yards. So what I was able to figure out is my normal, comfortable mowing speed for the conditions that you see here. Some weeds, nothing too thick, nothing too much, was 4.1 to 4.3 miles per hour. That's about where I usually seem to be. You know, it's like the your hands get to a certain place on the levers and your extension, you know, everything just gets comfortable. And so, oh my, if you guys hear that noise in the background, that's one of my pit bulls wrestling the couch cushion. Anyways, you know, everything you just get comfortable in your seat and comfortable with your arms, and then you start to realize, well, this is about where I usually mow. And so I was around 4.1 to 4.3. That's my pit bull in the background you hear. I'm using a mic. I bought a new mic, so I hope this sounds better. So that was our top speeds for comfortable mowing. Now, our screaming, slamming full speed was 6.9, I believe, was like the highest that I was able to see. I guess I could go back and look at the history and it'll show top speed. But I think maybe this pass right here, I was full speed as fast as it would go, and I was bouncing around, and it was kind of rough. Maybe that part already passed, I don't know. But anyways, so that answers your question. I mow at about 4 miles per hour, and the top speed is just under 7 miles per hour. And then you get your bigger, more commercial ones with the bigger circumference tires and everything, and your ground speed's just naturally going to be bigger because of bigger tires. And also, you know, heavier duty pumps and all that, different wheel motors, so it all becomes relative. But I just don't see how you can really mow much faster than 4.5 or 5 miles an hour anyways, unless that is some really flat, super smooth ground. But it gets done, of course. So, but something I did want to talk to you guys about was invoicing. Now, last season, somebody used to harass me a lot about invoicing my customers every cut. And he was implying that I didn't have working capital because of it, and, you know, because my business is the way my business is, that I have to invoice every time because I don't have any money, and blah, blah, blah. And the guy couldn't be further from correct. I mean, there's money coming in every day. $400, $500 most days. Some days $300 days are coming in. Some days $800, $900 comes in. It all depends on the time of the month with how people get paid and stuff like that. So, yeah, prepay, you know, you get your money at the beginning of the month or whenever it is set up. Post-pay, you get your money anyways, or you're dropping customers. So eventually it works out. But this guy really had a hard time understanding why I invoiced my customers every cut if I didn't actually need the money every cut. And it's real simple. I do it for record keeping on my end and the customer. I don't demand that they pay every cut. In fact, I tell them I prefer every other cut because it's easier on them and it's easier on me. I'd rather process one check, process one payment, follow one deposit, than have to follow two from that one customer. So I send them an invoice every cut. That way they can see their balance every cut. And then the next cut, I send them an invoice and it has 2 dates on it, 2 date cuts, plus maybe anything else that got done. And at that point, you know, it says that I prefer that the invoice gets paid after 2 service dates, not to exceed, I want it done before 3, or service may be interrupted. Just because I don't want the balance getting high enough that, $120, you're starting to compete with people's internet and cable, or people's, maybe some of their electric bills, maybe some of their other bills, then they start deciding who's going to get paid. So I try to keep it to 2 cuts at the most. And I always invoice them because it's real easy for me to do. No matter what, I got to enter in that they were serviced and what date they were serviced. And then I just email them the invoice. So it doesn't take anything to send the invoice to the customer. There's no demand for payment. They don't have to pay right away. A lot of them do. A lot of them prefer it because they want to keep the bill down low. But a lot of them don't. And when they do pay it through the email and they pay online, then all the bookkeeping is done for me. I don't have to do anything except look at the Stripe account to see what the transfer is going to be, and then to make sure that it got transferred into my bank account. That's really it, just to make sure there's not a glitch in the system. So that's why I invoice every single night. At the end of my day, I send out that day's invoices, so 10 or 12 or 15 customers get their invoice that night or the next morning, depending on what happens that night, and they can follow along. They can make a payment if they'd like, or they can just see that, okay, he got my payment, balance is only showing this cut from yesterday, so he did get my payment. Or they can call me and say, hey, what do you mean I owe you $120? Didn't you get my payment? No, I didn't. I'll look for it, though. How did you send it? I mailed you a check. Well, okay, when I get it, I'll let you know. And I get the check for $80, and their balance goes down to $40. And if I remember, I'll let the customer know, hey, I did get your check. Or what I'll do is, it'll be pretty fresh in my mind. I'll get that $80 check in the mail, and then I'll enter it against their $120 balance, and it'll show a balance of $40, and then I'll email them that invoice now that I made the correction. So it's really just pressing the button one time and then send. And so it's perfect record keeping for me, and it's perfect record keeping for them. And then you don't ever get to the point where at the end of the month they didn't pay you last month and now they owe you 4 cuts and it's a surprise. So you don't have any surprises. That is why I invoice every time. It doesn't have anything to do with how I run my business or how I bill my customers, or I don't have any money for this and I don't have the money for that. Your way's better than my way. No, it's simply for record keeping. That's about it. So, all right, I hope that kind of settles that, and I think it's a smart way to do it, because then you always know what your customer owes you. You can always make sure that you didn't forget to charge them, because when you do your invoice, if it shows a 0 balance, you can say, okay, when was their last payment and for how much? And you kind of get into a rhythm where you know, okay, this customer, wait a minute, what? 0 balance? Hang on a second, I don't remember. Or, you can go back and say, wait, did I invoice them for the last cut? And you can look at the last service date and go, oh my goodness gracious, I didn't even invoice them. Something happened. Maybe it was somebody that I forgot. They weren't on the schedule, but I knew to do them, so I did them. And then when I did the invoicing, I was sidetracked, and I didn't add them by accident. So doing it every single time definitely makes it easier. Oh, that's one ugly guy. And then we're just going to do a few minutes of weed eating here. So, with the weed eater, that's about my normal pace to weed eat. And as you'll see, I try to go in square patterns, and I try to keep a flow going. So that's really all that's going to happen here. Not really much to show with this yard. And in fact, really all these yards, it's really hard. I need someone to help me with the camera. It's kind of hard to tell you guys, man, we're going to be done by 1 o'clock, $400 or more, 10 yards, and then get done at 3 o'clock because I'm moving a camera around, and I got to come up with excuses. So I didn't get to do as much video as I wanted to, but I kind of was on a mission because I wanted to see, in all honesty, not necessarily how fast can I get these done, because you could always cut corners and not care, but I wanted to see how efficiently I can get these done and how much time I would have at the end of this day, so I can make a note that says, hey, +3, +4. So that tells me you know, +3, +4. I could +3, +4 lawns here. That also means I could probably go up a couple pressure wash jobs too. You know, so those are the notes that I'm trying to make. So as my season continues and as I go into next season, I want to be able to look at this day and be able to say, okay, I can send a lawn crew out. These two guys should be done by 12 with these 10 yards. I should be able to send them out for a Tuesday, Wednesday route that I would normally do. You know, things like that. Different notes that I take. So I'm not running here and I'm not cutting corners, but I am moving along pretty much with a purpose, and that is the purpose. So that's about it. Let's just go ahead and finish up this weed eating, and then we are going to pick this right back up once and for all in my truck, heading out of here, going home for the day.
So that's 10 yards done. We busted over 400. Now this 11th yard is a correction. It's due tomorrow because that street is due tomorrow, but when it was a new account a few weeks ago, I put it on for today. I just do it on today's calendar every 2 weeks, not knowing what the deal is, you know, how I was gonna approach, you know, get that yard done, and I ended up lining them up on Wednesday. So I actually do that yard tomorrow with the with the neighbor on that street, and they'll have their gate unlocked tomorrow. So I'm going to leave it that way. So we're going to call it quits for the day with 10 yards, just over 400 at 131. There you go, 131, and that's really it. So we talked a little bit about invoicing while I was mowing, and mower speeds. So, you know, those things matter, but mower speeds are going to slow down greatly shortly. I ain't going to be mowing that fast, probably in the next 8 weeks, and then for the next 2 months after that, it's going to be some really thick, crazy stuff going on getting through summer. So there we go. So leave your questions and comments, and I got a whole bunch of them all built up again that I'm going to do a answering video, and I'll call you guys by name, read your comments aloud, and go ahead and answer them more detailed than what I could do typing. That was like really popular. You guys really seem to appreciate that, and I appreciate you, so what the hell, I might as well. And that's it. So if you're out there working tomorrow, carry an extra water bottle, throw it to a lawn crew, just say, hey, what's up, man? I did it, you can do it. And I better get one back from any of you local lawn guys that watch me. I better get a water bottle back, sealed. If it ain't sealed, I won't drink it. Alright, man, so that's it. Thanks for hanging out today. Pretty easy day, and because it's so early, I'm gonna run up, and we're probably gonna end up putting up a maintenance video today too, so we'll just have to see how it goes.